Hello, and welcome to tonight's episode of Jeopardy! Federal Reserve Edition. I'm your host, Tamara, and these are tonight's contestants. Oh, you three? I never would have guessed. First up is Kate on your left, who is sponsored by Gatorade. No food or drinks on set. Next is Giselle, who is an Angels fan, unfortunately. Lastly is Eleni, who is a businesswoman. Nerd. Categories are Purpose, Board of Governors, Regional Reserve Banks, FOMC, Regional Structure, Monetary Policy, Supervising and Regulating, Financial Services. For those of you at home who aren't familiar with what the Federal Reserve System is, here's a general idea. The Federal Reserve System was created in 1913 due to the Panic of 1907. It still stands today as the central bank of the United States. Now let's get started with tonight's game. Our first category is Purpose for $200. The question is, what is the general purpose of the Federal Reserve? Our first answer of the night is coming from Eleni. Will she get it right, or will she lose?
To provide the nation with a safer, more flexible, and more money-based system.
That is correct. $200 for Eleni. Eleni, please choose the next question.
I'll take financial services for $200.
Who does the Federal Reserve provide financial services for? Yes, Giselle?
What are banks, credit unions, savings, and loans?
Correct. What's the next question going to be?
Regional reserve banks for $200.
How many regional reserve banks are there in the United States? Yes, Giselle?
What is 10?
Sorry, but you lose. Giselle, that was incorrect. Yes, Kate?
What is 12?
That is correct. These 12 banks were determined by the geographic distribution of the United States population at the time the Federal Reserve was created. Oh look, a three-way tie. Kate, what's the next category?
I'll take regional reserve banks for $600.
Alright, the question is, what are the three major purposes of the regional reserve banks? Yes, Eleni?
What is to provide checking accounts for the Treasury, issue and redeem government securities, and act in other ways as a fiscal agent for the government?
That is correct. What is the next category going to be?
I'll take supervising and regulating for $400.
Alright, the question is, the Federal Reserve supervises companies, including financial holding companies, formed under what act? Yes, Kate?
What is the Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act in 1999?
That is correct. What is the next category going to be?
I'll take monetary policy for $400.
Alright. What are the three main objectives of the monetary policy? Yes, Giselle?
What are maximum employment, stable prices, and moderate long-term interest rates?
That is correct. Oh, looks like that concludes our first round. We're going to take a short break as we prepare for the next round. Okay, folks, time for our next round. Shh. Giselle, turn around. I'm trying to host a show here. Welcome back to tonight's episode of Double Jeopardy! Giselle won the last round, so please pick the first category.
I'll take Board of Governors for $400.
Alright, how many members are on the Board of Governors? Yes, Eleni?
What are 7?
Yes, that is correct. The Board of Governors supervises the Federal Reserve and has 7 members. Eleni, what's the next category going to be?
I'll take FOMC for $400.
Alright, what does the FOMC stand for? Yes, Kate?
What is the Federal Open Market Committee?
Yes, that's correct. Alright, Kate, next category?
Supervising and regulating for $600.
The question is, what is the goal of supervising and regulating the banking industry? Yes, Kate?
What is to ensure safe and sound banking practices and compliance with banking laws?
That is correct. Next category?
FOMC for $800.
That's the sound of a daily double. Kate, how much do you want to wager?
I'd like to raise it to $1,000, Tamara.
Sounds great. What is the general purpose of the FOMC and how many times does it meet?
What is to decide on key interest rates, such as increasing or decreasing money supply, and what is 8 times per year?
That is correct. Kate, what's the next category?
Regional structure for $400.
All right, the question is, what is the regional structure of the Federal Reserve? Giselle?
What are 12 reserve bank districts with offices within to help provide services?
Yes, that's correct. The structure of the Federal Reserve System includes the Board of Governors, open market reserve banks, and the Board of Directors. Oh, looks like time's up. Kate is the winner of tonight's episode with a total of $2,600. Congratulations. You have the most knowledge of the Federal Reserve System. You win a car. So overall, we've learned this episode that there are many complex steps the Federal Reserve goes through to keep full employment, fair prices, and the stability for our country. Thanks for watching this episode of Jeopardy! Federal Reserve Edition, where if you answer wrong, you lose.